Hey, bookenders. I hope that you all had a wonderful holiday weekend. I know I did. Of course, I did some cleaning, but I also took care of my fish, which is something that I love to do. And if you're not familiar with who I am, welcome to Bookends of Recovery, where recovery gets real and loved ones aren't left out. Please excuse my voice. I have been traveling, and so I don't know why. I guess it's getting older. It just takes more out of me. Anyway, I'm Laura, and I am so glad you are here. Today, we are talking about unique ways to anchor yourself when anxiety and triggers hit. Yes, I share all of these things, exercises and grounding tools and stuff. But these are, I don't know, next level tools for you. It's a mix of creative, sensory, and body based techniques to help you stay present, especially when triggers or anxiety are just trying to take over. I have a new laptop and a new microphone, so hopefully it comes through okay. I tested it a few times. It sounded good. I just don't know if it's blocking out all the noise that my old one did. So we shall find out. So as you know, grounding tools, they're powerful. They're not about fixing how you feel, but more about giving your mind and body a safe place when things just feel like they're getting out of control. Giving you that pause. And these techniques will engage your senses and gently guide you back into your present moment. So let's dive into some of the practical, easy to use techniques that can keep you that you can keep in your recovery and healing toolkit. So the first one up is, we'll just say, small items, big impact. So these are some things that you can use your senses with, especially like touch, sight, sound, and smell to anchor your awareness. If you need to, you can go onto my website and you can find the links. I'm not affiliated with any of them. I'm definitely not big enough to have any kind of sponsorship, but they're all to Amazon because goodness knows I use Amazon all the time. But if you want, if you need to be like, what is she talking about? I just gave you some examples, but I'm definitely not getting paid. The first one is something simple like textured stickers. If you're someone who just needs to calm down, and you get a little fidgety, these are perfect. And you can put them on, say you have like a journal that you carry with you, or even like your wallet or something. You can put that on there, and you just put your fingers against a textured sticker and just rub it back and forth and really feel that texture, the bumps. And that sensation can help bring your attention back to the here and now and remind you where you are and stop you from going down that spiral that we can sometimes get sucked into. Something else that you can do is find a liquid timer. They're pretty cool looking as well. And you can watch the swirling that a liquid timer does. I know, the old school, everyone knows I think it's Days of Our Lives, right? The old granular one. But this one is liquid and it's kind of mesmerizing, in a good way. But it can help slow those racing thoughts that we sometimes find ourselves caught up in. And it's kind of like a almost like a lava lamp kind of thing, but you can just kind of watch as it's going and focus on that rather than the trigger or the anxiety that you're going through. You already know I'm a huge fan of my lemon, my watermelon lemonade candles. So if you can find any kind of scented balms, candles, oils, they sell things that you can actually put. There's like these little necklaces, and you can put essential oils in the necklace. But if that's not, if you don't want to wear something like that, you just keep it in your pocketbook, back pocket, whatever. I have to remember that not everyone listening is a female. Sorry about that. But if you're not into that, you can just carry it with you, and even put it on a tissue, and just inhale that slowly. Of course, scents like lavender, citrus, or peppermint that can change your state of mind because it's calming, and it has a way of doing that mood shift. If you have a scent that you particularly like, like my watermelon lemonade, invest in it. And I know right now things may be tight because the economy is just a hot mess. But it doesn't mean you have to go and spend, $50 on a Yankee candle. It means that you can splurge on something at Walmart or wherever, find a sale. It's worth it. I signed up for, I always want to say Bed Bath and Beyond, and that's not it. Bath and Body Works, and they have sales all the time. You can even use the scent of mints or gum. Those strong flavors and even the textures can help jolt you back to your senses and bring you back to the present. And I'm not just talking about like peppermint. I mean, even I don't even know if they sell Big Red anymore, but um, spearmint, stuff like that. I know I shouldn't be promoting candy because I talk about eating healthy, but here I go promoting candy. My husband had, I think it was hot tamales. I'm not sure, but he accidentally spilled them in my car. And I was like instantly drawn back to when I was younger. And we used to suck on those big gobstopper looking things. I think they were called Red Hots, where you couldn't even keep them in your mouth. I don't even know if they sell those anymore. Again, dating myself. Uh, but they were so hot you had to kind of like take them out of your mouth for a little bit because you were like, oh my God, that's so hot. Oh, they taste delicious. But that kind of thing can jolt you out of, um, again, going down that spiral. But I definitely feel that, like, even when I'm working, um, I just find that to be so true. You just pop in a piece of mint gum, or I have little peppermints that they sell during Christmas. They're soft, and bam, instant alertness. There's just something about it that's that strong smell. Here goes my dog walking back and forth. I apologize. Headphones. Plug in some calming music. Also, use some white noise or nature sounds. If you've listened before, I just love the sound of rain. I just got back from vacation and got to experience some amazing thunderstorms with just beautiful lightning across the sky. And to me, I know a lot of people aren't fans of thunderstorms, but me, I just There's something about hearing the rain and seeing the lightning just, as it goes across the sky. It's just beautiful to me. But let your ears guide you out of that feeling of anxiety and bring you into awareness of the here and now. Next, think about vocalization, right? Let your voice help you get grounded. I'm going to ask you to be open minded because these are unique, but sing or hum, focus on the vibration of your voice or the tune or the lyrics that you're humming or that you're singing. And bonus points if it's like a comforting or even a nostalgic song. And you thought the bonus was going to be if it's an 80s song. No, not everything is 80s in my world. Surprise. You can also repeat some of your favorite mantras or affirmations, or if you have come up with your um, recovery affirmation statement, you can do that. Pick a few calming phrases like I am safe, or this feeling will pass, or I can get through this. Repeat them slowly and listen to your own voice. Remind yourself that your voice is the voice of strength. And I say that because so many times when we're going through recovery or when we're going through betrayal, trauma, healing, we've got that addict voice or that negative voice just sitting in our brain and just feeding us a bunch of garbage. And the more we can negate that garbage, that bullshit, the better job we can do getting rid of it, just evicting it. And if you're struggling finding affirmations to think of during those challenging moments, it can help to have some affirmation cards or an affirmation list handy. And again, I have that examples on my website. Just look up affirmations and you'll find it. And I also should have, yeah, just look up affirmations and you'll see the whole list. And next, we're going to move on to physical sensations because you want to be able to bring it back to the body. And sometimes your body knows what your brain hasn't caught up with yet. And for me, that was definitely true. My body was definitely sending up some flares, and I was doing this great job of just ignoring them because why listen to my body? Um, Even after I had started to heal from betrayal trauma, I was still not used to listening to my instincts. And so I was just ignoring those warning signs. So do your best to try to listen to them. So, one of the things that you can do is use your body to its advantage, right? Uh, so you can try something like hold a piece of ice. I know, like I said, open mind. But the cold, it snaps you into awareness. You know, I'm not a fan of cold. I actually hate cold. So, but you can juggle it back and forth between your hands. If you're real brave, you can feel it melt. But I'm not that person. But you can move it back and forth. and shift it from one hand to the other. You can also just run your hands under water. We always see that in a movie, right? People are always splashing their face with cold water. But you can also do um, warm water, cool water, and just notice how it feels on your skin. And this also works in the shower. Remember when we talked about taking a mindful shower and noticing the feel of the water as it hits your skin, right? And noticing the smell of the soap and the sound of the water, all those things. It's the same concept. You can also try chewing on something and focusing on the texture, the taste, and smell. Is it something crunchy? Is it sour? Is it chewy? That can, just do the trick again to bring you to the presence. Confession, I'm almost embarrassed, but I share lots of stuff here. I'm still on my sweet tart kick. I don't know what my deal is. I was actually talking to someone in my family, and we were talking about how, as we're getting older, we're both trying to do better with our health. And I was like, yeah, I've been doing those caramel rice treats and stuff. And he was like, oh my gosh, we've been doing this over here, and whatever. And so, and then he was like, yeah, but I just can't seem to kick the ice cream at night. And I was like, dude, I eat like 10 sweet tarts a night. And he was like, that's it. I'd eat the whole box. So that made me feel a little bit better. But anyway, rationalizing at its best. Something else that you can do is just press your feet into the ground, literally, like stand or sit and push your feet firmly into the floor. Feel the support. You're grounded, literally, you're grounded. And then here's some other unique things that you can try, which I've talked about before about doing a body scan. So you're going to start at your toes and you're going to move forward. Pay attention to where you're tensed. Pay attention to where you're feeling relaxed. When you come across a tense body part, for me, I hold my tension in my neck and in my shoulders. And so when I do that body scan, I I go ahead and tense it up even more. You can't see me, but I'm doing it. And I hold it, hold it, hold it, and then I release it. And you can do that working down your body. And we've talked before about doing guided imagery, so you can work with that as well. And there's also a podcast on that. You can also count your breaths. This is something that works really well for if you have betrayal trauma, you're fine, and you have triggers, and you're finding that your triggers are like swallowing you up. You can't stop the mind movies, or just that anxiety that is just that all consuming anxiety, that flight, freeze, um, panic. This is a really good one. Just inhale, exhale, count to 4 on the inhale, 6 on the exhale, and repeat a few times. And that calmness, it's going to sneak its way in. And this is also something you can practice when you're feeling um, I don't want to say relaxed state, because a lot of times when we're in that betrayal trauma mode, it's hard to find a calm moment. But when you're not feeling as anxious, and just practice that, just inhale, exhale, count to 4 on the inhale and 6 on the exhale. because those deep breathing techniques really work. I know I say it all the time, but I wouldn't if it wasn't true. And I probably repeat it so much because I didn't believe it when I was told. So, and something else that is taken from therapy is so this is not a therapeutic thing. It's just taken from therapy. Is tapping your body, again, bringing you to the present. So you're just going to gently tap your chest, your arms, or your legs, and that can help wake up your nervous system and redirect some of that anxious energy. So just give that a try. Something else to help kind of release that tension is clenching and releasing your fists. So just, squeeze really hard and then release, and then just repeat that a few times because you're giving your body something to do with that built up tension. It's almost like what I just did with my shoulders that you couldn't see. But you're giving your body a place to store that extra energy, real tight, 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 and then release. One of my favorite things to do is imagining your safe place. So think of where that is. It's one of my, so if, when people, when I was doing life coaching, one of the first things we established was having a safe place inside your brain. And we do that because in those moments of anxiety, in those moments of tension, you, you need to have a place where you can close your eyes and be like, okay, I'm thinking of a calming place. Where is it? For me, it's a beach, but for other people, I had someone who was an amusement park. Someone else, it was a ranch that they used to go to. So, whatever it is for you. And then just picture it in full color and really immerse yourself like it's a vivid daydream. What do you see? What do you hear, smell? And also evoke emotions with your favorite place, that safe place, and really let your mind hang out there for a bit. That is probably one of my favorite tools because then you can take that safe place and that's when you can apply it to the guided imagery when you see your safe place, your happy place, and then take that and apply it to the um, clenching and releasing of your muscles. Next is playing a category game. I know, again, sounds silly, but we're trying to bring you to the present. So you can name 5 fruits, um, 5 TV shows, 5 kinds of dogs, whatever it is. And then you can do the same if it's still you're still feeling anxious, bring it down. Name 4 whatever, and then 3 whatever, and do that until you're feeling calm again. The idea is distraction to bring you calm and to bring you back to the present so that you're grounded, so that your trigger doesn't have a strong hold on you, so the anxiety isn't bringing you to a dark place, and you're feeling that calm again. So grounding again doesn't mean that we're pretending that everything is okay. It means you're giving yourself the tools to stay okay enough to ride out the wave until it passes, because it will pass. If you've um, tried grounding and you were like, this isn't working, you know, don't give up. It's not a one size fits all. Just find some grounding technique that works for you, because something is bound to work. There are so many tools out there. I highly suggest going to my website and searching grounding tools because I have a ton. So even if something in here and you're like, ugh, I don't like any of these, go look and see, because there's probably one that you're like, oh, okay, I'll try that. That may work. Because even one technique, it can be a lifeline when things just feel so overwhelming. And if you have a grounding tool that you love, I would really, really like to hear it, because then I could share that and pass it on. So please let me know. You can comment on my website or on Facebook. You can go to my Reddit community. Let's see, my Reddit community is new. It's Bookends of Recovery. And then, of course, my Facebook is, let's see, Facebook is Bookends of Recovery. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I always get it wrong, but you find me. And so, whether you're healing from betrayal trauma or loving someone through it, you're going to find tools over there. So, please join on in. I'd love to hear from you guys. So, until next time, this is Laura, and I am sending positive vibes your way. All of you are such superstars. Thank you again for joining me. Have a great rest of your week.